Hey, welcome back to the Renatus InvestEdge, everybody. My name is Jay Stark. I bet you will never guess who we are going to feature on today's call. But before we bring out our featured guest, I want to welcome you to our call today and just give you a little bit of a layout for how the call is going to go. First, this is an interactive call, so I'm hoping that all of you will take the opportunity to submit your questions, your comments, or anything else that you want to put. Just drop that in the chat box. Make sure that you like, follow, subscribe, get all the updates and the notifications every time that we go live. But the purpose of this call is so that we can bring out people that are investing in real estate today and that are going to share with you their tips, their tricks, their strategies, their secrets to give you the edge in investing. Now, our host for the remainder of the call is the CEO and founder of Renatus, the individual whose vision all of Renatus is slowly becoming. Join me in welcoming out Mr. Bob Snyder.
Hey, man, it's so great to be here. I'm thrilled that we have this opportunity because, you know, this is the format. On your screen right now, you can see this is the format when you've got 4 people and you've got a 3-camera shoot. That's what this is indicative of. But we've got an incredible couple that we're looking forward to interviewing and having some fantastic conversation with, and a special announcement. But before I do that, hey, I just wanted to mention, this is the Renatus InvestEdge. We are all things real estate, all things, helping you to understand how to invest in this day and age with current, relevant, and actionable information. So we would encourage you, subscribe. That way you get the notifications when they come out as to a new episode of the Renatus InvestEdge, because we want to help everyone go out there and really raise the level of their play, especially when it comes to real estate investing and doing creative deals. So that's what this is all about. Anyway, got a great program planned for you today because of our 2 special guests. Now, these are individuals who are no strangers to Renatus InvestEdge. We had them out here a few weeks ago, and they did a fantastic job describing, the deals they're doing, the things that they've accomplished, the great plans that they have in place. They're going to build on that a little bit today. But today, as we unlock the potential of Mitch and Maeli Nelson, we've got to help you understand that there's been a special promotion inside of the marketing ranks here in Renatus. Now, we do things a little bit different here. Instead of going out there and doing email blasts, instead of going out there and utilizing so many different marketing strategies and paid for ads to get the word out about what we do and how we do it through a network of independent contracted marketers. And the leadership of that group is what we know as the PAC. That stands for President's Advisory Council. They're like the eyes and ears of the PAC, or I should say of myself and Jay on a daily basis. And they're also the voice of the customer. And as the voice of the customer, the great news is, they give us feedback so that we always have our ear to the ground and we're in the know rather than missing important points. So I'm thrilled that we can announce Mitch and Maeli Nelson as brand new PAC.
Woohoo!
Yes. That is
nice.
So fantastic. Now listen, we've got to give a little caveat there because Maeli's a brand new PAC member.
That's right.
Mitch is what we call a retread. Yes, because he's been here before. And I wanted to lean into that just a little bit here, Mitch, and talk about your experience because, you served on the PAC. You're a top income earner with us on the marketing side of our business as you were selling Renatus investment education and so forth. And then you got an opportunity and you said to me, he actually invited me to lunch and he said, Bob, I've got an opportunity and I think I need to pursue it. And that means that I will be stepping away from Renatus. And he stepped away. Fortunately, he stepped back. So we're excited to have you here. And I'd love for you to share a little bit of your story and what this means to you.
Yeah, sometimes when you make a mistake, you got to just recognize it, admit it to yourself, and, make good. So that's what I did. And I'm grateful you were gracious enough to let us come back because this is the place to be.
Yeah, well, it was really not a difficult decision for me because I never wanted you to leave in the first place.
It took some wandering in the wilderness, I guess, for me to, figure my stuff out. But no, this is home. This is where we belong. Honestly, going out there, I realized there is not another leadership team, yourself, Jay, that has more integrity than the 2 of you. That's a rare thing. And I miss that because we didn't see that with the other things we tried. And there's not another product that's more valuable in this industry than the Renatus education. What you have created is legitimately the most valuable thing I've seen in the marketplace. And man, I see people selling things for a lot more expensive that are a fraction of the quality.
Well,
and actually to teach, to talk to that when we did leave and COVID happened and it just exploded. I mean, unfortunately, right? It should have obviously worked because we were booked in, we had 17 venues completely booked by March, right? So it would have been so amazing that all the events got shut down. Oh no.
Timing's everything, isn't it?
Timing is horrible, right? But I will say that at that point, we had the opportunity to interview a lot of companies. Because we're like, well, I mean, we're here. We might as well, we're top income earners. We know what we're doing. We are the face of this Australian company. Like, we could go do anything. And so we did. We interviewed a lot of companies. And every single time, we were really sad. We were disappointed that their education was not good. Let's just
you can say the word bad. I mean, that's okay.
It wasn't great. Let's see.
Lacking,
it just was, and they're paying so much money for coaching and so much money just every month, right? They're just forking out more and more and more money. And at the point, it's like, well, or they're taking all their money from their deals. That's the one that I thought was the most interesting.
Yeah, that's
most of the companies, and I get that every day actually in the field. They're like, oh, so how much money, if I do a deal, like how much do you want of it? I'm like,
yeah, what cut does Renatus take out of my deals?
Yeah, no. It's like absolutely zero. Like, what are you talking about? I don't want any of your failure or your success. Right?
You know what? I'm glad you brought that up because I've always believed that it's a conflict of interest for a company that's in the business of education to suddenly, start doing deals with their students. It puts them at a little bit of a disadvantage and a vulnerable position. And that's why we've never done it.
Yeah.
And I've had critics of us and for that policy saying, oh, you have no idea how much money you're leaving on the table. And I said, no, my integrity is more valuable than a few bucks.
Amen to that.
And what I've watched over the years is I've watched so many individuals get hurt in those deals. And then that could be the very thing that was the Achilles heel to take the company down.
Sure.
Yeah.
So, we just don't play that way, man. We are really good at doing one thing, and that is teaching individuals how to become real estate investors so that they can make intelligent, informed decisions. And I believe we do it better than everybody else. That's an incredibly biased opinion, but it's a good opinion.
But hearing your endorsement, hearing how you guys went and actually talked to a bunch of different companies and saw their leadership, the quality of their education or their content, and then thought, hey, you know what? There is no one better than Renatus. And I'm sure that it took a moment of reflection, a pause before you came back. What was that like?
It was, definitely should have come back sooner than we did. It was, big part of it was ego. Big part of it was I didn't want to come back to my friends who I respect and be like, I messed up.
But I'm so glad you did.
Yeah, me too. I am too, and I don't know why it took me so long. But when you're in the moment, it's like I don't want to admit to them that I made a mistake, kind of thing. So,
it wasn't a mistake. It was a detour.
It was a detour.
It was a detour, and now you've got perspective.
Yeah.
That's right.
So now you can help other individuals with that perspective. So you can say, hey, listen, man, let me tell you what we learned through this experience.
Yeah. Maeli nailed it. Contrast brings clarity. I think.
Yes, it does.
I think my conviction as a Renatus ICM now is just that much stronger because of that experience.
Yeah.
I know I am where I'm supposed to be.
Yeah.
Awesome. We do too.
Yeah.
When Bob started talking about about the potential of you guys getting promoted to PAC, at first I was like, oh, this is going to be great. And then I started to think about it a little more and I was like, no, this isn't going to be great. This is going to be life-changing for you guys and for Renatus as a family, as an entire community, because it's so great to see you guys have been active again since when?
Came back and talked to the summer of 2022.
So summer of 22, now summer of 2025. So in 3 years, you guys went from basically starting all over again to now building a community, a family, and being promoted all the way to the PAC.
Yeah.
That's incredible. Tell us a little bit about your community, about that building. So I don't mean to steal your thunder here.
No, not at all. Not at all, Jay. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. Well, I'll start. So it was hard at the beginning.
Yeah.
Is it Art Williams? Is that the guy that says,
yes,
just do it.
Just do it.
Just
Absolutely.
do it, right?
Just do it.
And he's got in that video, and I watch that all the time because it's so motivating. Like, you say an excuse and he goes, well, just do it, just get out and do it. One of the things he says is, Art, I left the company I was making a lot of money at and started something new. What do I do? Man, you really got to do it.
That's right.
He says
really
that.
Got to do it.
And that is so true because starting over, we had an advantage. We had 7 years of doing Renatus prior. Oops, whack the mic. Sorry about that. 7 years of doing Renatus prior to that gave us an advantage. It gave us some wisdom, and I think prevented us from having to make a lot of rookie mistakes that everybody has to make.
Right.
But it also, it didn't make it easy.
Yeah.
It was a good year. I don't know if you remember me calling you maybe 6 months after we came back and signed our ICM agreement. I said, Bob, I'm struggling. No sales for I think 6 months, maybe even close to a year. It's like, what do I do? This is what I'm struggling with. And, as usual, whenever I call you and need advice, you always had really good advice to share with me. But I think no matter what you do, and this is very true in our real estate game too, is you just can't give up.
Yeah.
Nelson Mandela, I think, was who it said, or at least he gets credited with. I don't know who actually said this first, but he said, I never lose, I win or I learn.
That's one of my all-time favorites. I love that quote.
It's become a life philosophy for me because what that means to me is as long as I'm taking action, no matter what outcome I get, I'm either going to win or I'm going to learn. And what I have learned since I've really started building wealth in my life is that knowledge is actually a more valuable currency than money. Because you can have good financial years and you can have bad financial years or even moments, but you can have something happen to you that all your money gets taken away.
Well,
but if you know how to build, if you know how to build it, you can go do it again.
Yes.
And so as long as we're taking action, we're winning no matter what.
Amen to that.
The only way you fail is if you stop taking action. That's the only way that you fail is if you quit.
Well, it's like my good old buddy Garrett Gunderson has always said. He says there's a number of different types of capital. You've got mental capital. You just talked about that in terms of knowledge. There's relationship capital, and then there's financial capital. Now, we think about financial capital on a regular basis. We hear that terminology. But so often individuals are not really tuning into the fact that the mental capital and the relationship capital, when coupled together, always equal financial capital.
Yeah.
That just leads to that saying, your network equals your net worth.
Yeah, it does. And it's funny. I got a story about that, man, because years and years ago, I was in Acapulco, Mexico. That's back when it was somewhat safe to go to Acapulco. And we were doing an event down there. I was emceeing the deal and doing some training. I was there with Bob Proctor and Mark Victor Hansen. We were out at dinner. We were watching the famous Acapulco cliff divers and having a great conversation. Now, this was a lot of years back, so I was a young budding entrepreneur at that time, and I remember turning to Mark and I said, Mark, you know what? You're a seasoned pro. You've written, literally over 100 New York Times best-selling books. You've got over 200 million books sold. This guy's accolades are pretty extraordinary. He's been on Oprah 3 times. Yeah, never mentioned me once. But anyway, I asked him, I says, what kind of advice have you got for a young up-and-coming entrepreneur like me? And he said, Bob, you want to change your life, change your friends. Mm-hmm. And that's where he taught me that principle. He says, listen, your net worth is very much determined by your network. It's who you hang around with, who you spend your time with, how they influence your opinions, your decisions. And I just feel like our net worth increased significantly when you guys came back.
Oh,
So we're thrilled to have you here.
That
so grateful.
So much.
So grateful.
Yeah.
And humbled to be invited to be on the pack. It's we appreciate the recognition. We're excited to serve both Renatus leadership and the rest of the country, and that's what we're here for.
Awesome.
Well, and you guys have been serving. You've been serving, man. Let's talk a little bit about the service that you've rendered to the community here. And you just started your 4th season of the First Flip Challenge, right?
That's correct. Yep.
Yeah, talk a little bit about that.
So kind of backing up, when we came back, originally we were tapping into, what was already here because we were gone, right? So we were just like, we just got to figure out how we can blend in with what is already going, right? And that was great. Richard is amazing, and what he was running was fantastic. And then immediately in my mind, I'm like, well, I just have things that I like to do. So not that Richard has anything, right? It's just, I'm one of those people and I'm like, no, but I want to go do something else, right? And I had the door knocking experience here. So Mitch had all the years in Renatus, which was amazing, but I come from a very different world.
Yes.
And I think that blending was obviously a beautiful thing in our business because I am community. I think that that's right. It's like, oh no, like that's how you create excitement and love. And if people know how much you love them, gosh, right? Like they'll do anything, right? Yeah. Like if they really know that you care and that you support them and that I can see more than they can see in them. I feel like that's the most important part is that people just don't believe in themselves. You don't know that they can accomplish all the amazing things that they can do, whether it's getting in deals, whether it's, they just don't believe in that. And that is why I'm here, right? Is to make sure it's like, no, you can do it. If I can do it, you can do it. And so, I don't know, that was a really fun blending. And so with our community, it was like, no, we have to make sure that we're doing some kind of challenge.
Yes.
Because I need a challenge. I love to win and I love to feel like I'm accomplishing something. And for me, I'm very much like, I have to have KPIs. I have to know that I'm hitting like my mark every day. Otherwise, I just like, I don't know, I don't do anything.
So for anybody who doesn't know, what's a KPI?
Yeah, so key performance indicator. And those key performance indicators really just allow you to stay in line with your goals. So if, you set up certain goals throughout the week and you're like, hey, I need, like maybe your end goal is to get into your first real estate deal, which is what the challenge is all about, right? Just get into your first real estate deal. And it's like, okay, well, I know that at the end of 90 days, I want to do that. Well, what are the action steps that will actually guide you to get into your first deal? Yeah. That's what you have to break down. It's not so much the education's there. Obviously, we have the best education in the entire world. We don't have to worry about that. So Mitch, genius that he is, essentially just aligned all of your education in a beautiful order that allows us to, as students, to go through the process of least resistance, right? So it's like, oh, if I just watch these courses and then I do my KPIs, which we have a lot of KPIs, by the way. There's a lot. It's a challenge for a reason, right? If it was easy, it's difficult.
Right.
It's going to be very hard for them to get through a minimum of 2 hours a day for 90 days.
Right on, man.
That's
nice.
Pretty intense, right? But when they get through, like how cool that anybody could get into their first real estate deal in 90 days. Like that feels so good, right?
What's this picture right here that Aaron is showing?
Oh, yeah. So we don't have everyone here, unfortunately, because we have people from Texas, we have people from Arizona, we have people from all over the nation that have jumped in, but we had 52 challengers launch here at corporate just last Thursday. It was so fun.
So this is the launch of season 4. So you guys have done this already successfully 3 seasons. Tell us a little bit about some of the stories that have come from those seasons. What kind of progress and changes have people seen through the challenge?
There are so many. It's so cool. Like I love what I do because it's so cool to see people grow. I mean, that's always been such a cool part about representing Renatus is I get paid to change people's lives. Like that's really cool. And then, doing the First Flip Challenge program, on top of the Renatus curriculum, it gets me more involved in that process and closer to, a closer audience member. I get front row seats to watching people change their lives in a short period of time. But I mean, we have people like Maeli, who is a stay-at-home mom, and just, kind of bored with things. And, they had moved into a house that they quote unquote flipped over the course of 3 years and it had made a little bit of money on it. And they were like, there's something to this real estate thing, but we don't want to do it that way again. Like we need to figure this out. Right. And so she came and joined the challenge. She joined our first challenge, did her first deal, made $114,000. And I always tell people that is not typical. Yeah. Don't count on that. Yeah. But she made $114,000 on her first deal. And since then, this was a year ago. Since then, she's in her 9th deal now.
Wow.
From stay-at-home mom to just
fantastic.
Real estate queen. Like it's awesome. There's so many stories. You know Mary and Seta.
Oh yeah.
Their
Sam
story.
and Brian. It was fun though, because that last Thursday, so Mitch, does his a presentation to show others exactly how they can possibly jump into the challenge too, right? Because
Right.
here comes season 5. Now we're already like, oh, and now season 5, let's go. But open registration, right? But the season 4, I actually did the mastermind, and I don't normally do the mastermind anymore. It's one of our, people that are rising stars that do the trainings, and that's been really fun. But I actually held the mastermind this last Thursday, and it was so bizarre that I didn't know anyone in the room.
Wow.
That's awesome.
Like I literally,
That's such a great feeling when you got a whole on, new crowd.
Yeah.
it was so wild. I made the mistake, or good mistake, of opening up, and I was like, well, because I don't know you, and I feel very disconnected. Like they're all from other teams. They're from my team's teams. They're from, there was 52 people that I was like, I know maybe 10 of you, maybe. And actually we had 93 people in the mastermind. So it was big. And so I knew like 10 people out of 93. I felt very like, I don't know. Probably should get to know you a little bit. So I opened up and talked a lot. But then I shared part of my story, and then I gave them my phone number. This was the part where I went, oh, maybe that was, like that's the last time I'll probably ever be able to get to do that, unfortunately. But fortunately, right? That's a good problem to have. I received, and I told them to take a selfie with me, or to send a picture, right, of who they are, and then send me something unique about themselves, and why they joined the challenge, or why they're here, right? And the stories.
Yeah.
I have like 100 stories of each person's, like who they are, what they do, why they're doing this, their excitement. And I'm like, that was a lot. Like over the weekend, like reading all of them and trying to get back to them. But that was a really fun thing that I didn't know I wanted, or even that would happen. But that was, I don't know, that was really cool to see how many people in just 90 days are also like where they're at.
Mm-hmm.
And then now where they're going to be in 90 days. And then a year from now, like it's wild to see the transformation.
You know what? And you guys have got a front row seat to all of that as well, which is the blessing of this business. But here's the question. There's a lot of individuals who are like, real estate, you know what? Yeah, I can read a book. I can go on YouTube. I can check it out. Talk to us about the observations you've made of the difference, in Renatus, but more importantly, the bigger difference that's made by being involved with a community.
Yeah. For sure, I think that every deal that has been done inside of our group has been done because of the community. Like you open up our chats. So we have a private back office where people can talk about deals. They can talk about, like, hey, come check out this property. And right, they're constantly moving and shaking everything inside this back end, private community. And they raise all their money. All through the community. Yeah. Right? They're just like, we're just watching, just like, oh my gosh, this is the best thing, right? Just to watch them do their business together. But it is their network. Mm-hmm. It is those relationships. They are best friends. Like I didn't expect that. That was the thing that really shocked me, that I was very unexpected was, for Memorial Day, I saw 12 of them on Bear Lake, all hanging out. And I was like, hey, where's my invite?
That's right.
Come, but like they really are best friends. They go to concerts together. They go do house tours. They are their own group, and each challenge group kind of has little pods. Like they literally hang out with just their challengers. It's hilarious. It's magic. It's been really fun to watch.
And it goes back to what you said earlier, Bob, and that is, surrounding yourself with people who are going to lift you up. Mm-hmm. Rather than a bunch of crabs in a bucket, right?
Right.
People are going to tear you down. And all of my current friends are people that I met through Renatus. My wife I met at Renatus, right?
Yeah.
And
these results are not typical.
Yeah. No, I don't marry every Renatus student. No, I'm just kidding. But it's awesome that the community element. People join Renatus because of the education. They stay because of the community, and friendships are formed of people who are like-minded and want to lift you up and push you to your goals versus your friend at work that tells you that real estate's dumb and you're never going to do anything with it, right? That's such a valuable part of this.
So I'm sure that you guys, now that you've done the challenge 3 times, completed it 3 times, and are in your 4th season now, you've seen a lot of people's mindsets and beliefs in themselves change. What does that progression look like for an individual who's getting started for the first time? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, they start out with this fear of, I don't know how to run the numbers. I don't even know how do I get into a deal? They have no idea. Like most challengers, I would say, have never done any real estate. Like they maybe have a house, right? Like that's the most real estate they've done. Now that's not the case for everyone, but I would say that is the majority. Zero like experience. So I do put that now on flyers. I'm like, no experience necessary, right? Because like that's the key. So then the day really this week, so today is day 5 of the challenge for season 4. And up until today, they've actually only been building like their business. So on the challenge night, we had a professional photographer show up. That was super fun. And they had to have, or they got to, I should say, a professional picture taken. And the purpose of it was to show up as now an investor. This picture, they get to upload on their profile. And now they're committing to the world and to the nation, their friends and their family. I am a real estate investor, and they're taking on that identity. The first time, for most of them, they're a business owner.
Wow.
For the first time, they're a new person. That by itself is just like this whole other game changer, right? Like that moment they like announce this to the world. And then today I saw 37, I counted today, I call them testimonials because it's like, oh my gosh, but they literally say my script, which is, I am so-and-so, and I just joined the 90-day First Flip Challenge, and I'm watching this, education, and the Renatus education, and I'm going to get into my first real estate deal in the next 90 days. Please follow me along. If you know anybody that has a deal, right? Like distress.
Right.
37 of them. I'm still waiting for the rest of you, just so you know. You're not done. So 50, there's more of you that still have to do your post today. But all of them have to. And so they're also sharing that excitement with the world.
Yeah.
Their message, that one message will light up, thousands of people that they never would have seen before had they not just let them, I don't know. Really cool.
I love that it starts with something so simple as, hey, let's take your professional picture. Go ahead and upload it, and let's let everybody see the new version of you.
Yeah.
I love that.
Let me reintroduce myself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also making a statement. I mean, a statement to the world that you're in business for yourself, and once you've declared it, then it can't be denied. I watch a lot of individuals who decide to open a business or get into some other way, to generate income and to make things happen, and I'm blown away at how often those individuals keep it a secret.
Right.
Yeah.
Nobody would ever know.
Right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, I mean, they find out, well, I started a business a while ago and it really didn't work out, so I closed it down. I never knew you were in business.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right? So you positioned them appropriately by just simply getting their photo taken and getting out there and helping them with a post.
Inside the back office, they have their own business cards, right, that it's preloaded so they can just, put their photo on there now.
Right.
They are full. They have an email signature, right? I'm the CEO of whatever company, so they had to create a business plan. Like yesterday was part of their assignment, and so it's like full on, right? Business owner, and they better get those tax strategies that you teach, right? Like,
it, man.
Yeah.
All of that plays an important role.
Sure does.
Well, I'm excited about it, and I'm excited about the fact that what you're doing is just helping people to engage in the actions that they need to take. It's one thing, to just take the classes and get, the knowledge and the information. But I'm a big believer that, that next step of action is where the rubber meets the road. And if they don't do that, then they're just another educated derelict. And we got a lot of those in this country. Right?
Yeah. And they get analysis paralysis easy. People, it's really easy to watch. My son actually does this, right? He watches people game. It's a thing. People, right? Watch people play games. It's the weirdest thing. I don't know why this is a thing.
It's a new sport.
It's a new sport. And it's like, I'm watching someone play a video game. Why are you doing this? This sounds like, anyway.
Maybe you should get in the game and start doing it for yourself, right?
Play the game. Like, I'm not a bystander though, so I don't get it. But I want them to play the game. Stop watching.
Yeah.
Stop watching. Get in the game. But you can't if you just watch the education, you're not playing.
Well, and you know, the Renatus education is so valuable because, I mean, you give it to us for life.
Yeah.
That is so awesome.
Right.
Like nobody does that. That's so cool. That's such a wonderful part of the value in the Renatus education. But if I were to ask any one of you, you've seen hundreds of real estate, thousands of real estate investing students,
Yep.
I'm sure over the years. Which deal's the hardest one?
The first one.
Yep.
The first one. And
Always
it's not,
the first.
It's not because of the deal.
Nope.
It's because of you, right? It's because of what we tell ourselves and you know, our limiting beliefs and what we hear our friends and family telling us in the
Yep.
background and all those things. So you know, what Maeli and I try to do with the First Flip Challenge is let's get you past that first deal.
Yeah.
The rest of your experience, like you have your Renatus education for life and it'll grow faster than you can watch it. So, you know, you're never, I tell people all the time, I'm probably only like 45% of the way through the Renatus library. I've been a student for 12 years, but you know what? I've made a lot of money doing just the strategies that I watched and paid attention to. But there's so much more room for me to grow into it. But let's get people past that first deal. Then they know they can do it. They have that confidence. And back to your point, you can see the change in people.
Oh, yeah.
Some of it is ineffable. I can't even describe what it is about them that changes. It's just their light.
Right.
That changes. But you know, as people gain that confidence, I mean, they really start tearing it up.
That's awesome. Do you have a question?
You were taking a breath there.
I was taking a breath. I love the idea of being able to watch people progress and being able to see that as they go through, because it sounds like for the first 5 days, you're really helping them lay the foundation of, hey, put your business together, get your business name, you know, start telling everybody.
That's what week one's called, laying the foundation.
Oh, there you go.
Watch your tax class, watch your legal class. Yeah.
I haven't gone through the First Flip Challenge either. So I'm just curious though, does it seem to like speed up for individuals where it stops being a burden of I have to for 2 hours every day and starts being a, man, I'm so inspired by what I'm creating right now. I'm spending 3 or 4 hours a day because this is so unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll binge it for sure.
Yeah. We're actually, Maeli and I continue to be amazed, and it's probably because most of it's just, you know, getting people through Renatus education, which is awesome, but we're amazed that we don't have a higher fall off rate. I mean, we still have people that, you know, something happens in their life and they got to take a step back. And we're always like, well, we'll just push you into the next challenge. Don't worry about it, you know, kind of thing. But, and then a couple of people would just give up. Yeah. But for the most part, it's a very high ratio of people, like 80% of people that do all the classwork, do all the assignments. Most of them are getting into deals and getting deals done. And you know, it's awesome. I mean, yeah, people get very excited about it. And then there's those few that are like, I took 2 weeks off of work and I finished the whole challenge. You know, there's those people too.
They would never finish it. Don't even let them think that you can do that. You can. It's a lot. There's no way.
No, I just love that you guys are providing a space for individuals to really get out of their own way, and you're giving them permission, belief, and a vision of what they can create in a very short period of time. And I love that you can demonstrate to them, hey, you don't need to sit there and master all of the Renatus education before you get started. Right. You know, here are pieces that will get you going down the road. And once the car is moving, then you can start adding other components to it and start, you know, broadening the plethora of education that you want to partake of.
One of the first classes that we have them watch is Jay Massey, you know, understanding your real estate investor ID, right? And understanding like what resonates with you as an investor.
Right.
Because I think that it also holds people back. They're like, well, I don't know what strategy I want. Like, you shouldn't have to know. If it's a deal, you do it. I don't care what kind of deal it is, right? You just need to know how to run your numbers. But because they don't know how to run any numbers, and they don't know how to, you know, so they have to learn creative financing. They have to learn wholesaling. You have to learn all the things so that when the deal comes across, you're like, oh, yeah. That could be this. That could be, you know, it could be multiple different deals. And you should have 3 exit strategies always. In every deal you do, have 3 exit strategies. That's one of our rules. Minimum, right? So because that's the case, you need to know at least the foundation, right? You need to have a better toolbox, because unfortunately, if you're a real estate agent and you're watching this, you have one, and that's the MLS. And that is just, you know, everybody says, oh, there's no deals. There's no deals. Our challengers just this last season, there was 12 deals that were purchased from the MLS. 12.
That's impressive.
That is impressive.
It's very impressive. 12 deals in season 3 were purchased from the MLS. It's a lot of deals.
Yeah.
And it's because they know what they're looking for, right? We're teaching agents how to actually do their job. I can say that I'm an agent. It's fine. But right, like it's one of those things that we actually even say this. Once they just finished week 2, they know more than all real estate agents, in my opinion.
Oh well, they absolutely do, because I mean, what do you learn in real estate school? How to fill out the paperwork, fill out the contractors, and do things in a way that doesn't get your broker sued. I mean, that's
it.
That's the entire course right there.
Yeah.
You know, it's not about creative real estate.
No.
And there's a lot of misnomers about that. It was interesting. I got to sit down with a social media influencer today. I mean, he's got, I think, 1.7 million, followers on TikTok and Instagram and everything else. And he said, well, Bob, he's a young guy. He's 21. And he's saying, I just don't know exactly what I need to do to really put, the next phase of my life and my business in play. He says, because I want to do what you're doing, but I want to do it a lot faster than you did. And I said, hey, game on, man. Let's make it happen. So he's talking about crypto, and he's talking about different things, which are kind of the buzzwords. I says, well, how much money does it take you to buy crypto? I mean, if you want to buy $100,000 in crypto, how much do you have to put in? He goes, well, $100,000. I said, well, do you realize that there's creative ways to buy real estate so you can purchase literally millions of dollars in real estate and never have to put a dime of your own money in or any of your own credit? And the concept was just a little bit mind-blowing to him. He's like, what do you mean? And then he talks about cash flowing. I said, listen, there's different markets all across the United States. Some markets are cash flowing markets. Other markets are really more about massive income than passive income and quick turn deals. I said, they'll all generate income over time, but you just have to figure out what kind of an investor are you. It goes back to what you just suggested, about their investor
Understand
ID.
your ID.
Yeah.
But as soon as I said, well, you get appreciation, you get a depreciation. We talked about taxes. I said, real estate is insurable. Can you insure your crypto against loss? Like, no. What's the risk to reward? Because if you go into Bitcoin, that's great. It's like the gold standard, right? Shouldn't even say that. It's the crypto standard.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So it's the crypto standard. But I mean, if you really want to get the rise of the next upcoming crypto, that means you're taking a massive amount of risk because you're getting involved with one that is unknown, that's just kind of coming into the marketplace. And I said, how often does that fail? It's not even around in 2 or 3 years. And then everybody's lost their money. And so for me, real estate's where it's at. And, just that little bit of a switch up in his frame of reference, I think, has him seeing the world a lot different. And what you're doing in the First Flip Challenge, I've got to believe, is also helping everyone that participates see the world a whole lot different.
Absolutely.
So talk about the mental shift and the breakthroughs that they're receiving right now.
I mean, if I was going to bring it up, it would be, I'll actually share my own story. So I do run in bigger rooms now. I hang out with a lot of big investors and big business owners, and it's really fun to rub shoulders with people that are doing big business. And yet, big people, or I should say influencers that are, have millions of followers. It's so fun. But then you start talking to them, and you realize they're not very educated, some of them. Right? Especially the influencers. And I don't want this to sound negative in any way towards them, but sometimes they hit their jump before they were ready. They didn't become the person. They didn't actually become educated on how to, they might have, it'd be like handing a 10-year-old $1 million. Like, here you go. What are you going to do with it? How do you keep your money? How do you keep your money? What do you do with, how do you create an actual legacy? How do you make an impact? Those are the things that people, I think, assume will just, as soon as I have money, I'll just know exactly what to do with it. It's not how it works. You have to become the person. And until you do, you'll just you can't hold it. It'll just
it just keeps slipping through your fingers, man.
Money's slippery, man.
Yep.
Money can be so slippery. And I love that is really your intention, and what they do learn through the education is it's not just how to make the money. It's how to keep it.
Yep.
And it's hard-earned cash, right? So we should learn how to keep as much of it as we possibly can, and how to actually structure it so it doesn't get taken from us from a legal standpoint, from taxes, from all the different structures. So it is so cool to watch them transition from this perspective of I'm going to be in a job and I will retire with not the right amount of money that I want to. And that's their only option. If you look at, I don't know what the number is, but I'm sure it's very high, of people that are in currently a job that they may not like, it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But when they actually retire, they will not be retiring right now with the amount of money that they need.
Oh, well, the statistics are really solid. I mean, it's 2/3. 2/3 of the individuals, or excuse me, it is on average. That's what it is. It's on average, an individual who retires with 2/3 less the income that they were previously making. So they've got to make a huge adjustment in lifestyle because that revenue is no longer coming in, and they've got to scale everything back, which is the reason why we have such stereotypical beliefs around the vulnerable and the weak of society. And they're generally the young and they're the old.
Well, that's terrifying, right? I mean, if that's the case, most of the nation is in a situation where they will retire, where they are not happy. They're not traveling. They're not, like you always say, they're shrinking their dreams to meet their means. And that just makes me so sad. So it is my fiduciary duty. It's our fiduciary duty to make sure everyone knows that this is real. People don't believe me. I'm in those big rooms all the time. And they're like, you didn't buy that house for $30,000. I'm like, no, I really did. No, I have. I bought it. Like, I have multiple of these, actually. Like, this is not fake, But they almost think it's somehow a scam or like it's not real.
Yeah. They got to get their mind wrapped around the fact that, individuals will trade equity for peace of mind. It's not a distressed property that we're looking for. It's a distressed seller. And those individuals are looking for a new start, and they're just looking to, move on and begin anew. Now, I will tell you that a lot of times, as you've experienced, that distressed property has the smell of money for an investor because it takes an investor to come in and take that property over so that we can improve it to sell it to a retail buyer who isn't going to have the additional revenue after closing to fix it up. So they've got to have somebody like us come in and do that for them. But you're right. Even successful business individuals, and this is another thing, I'll never forget a quote that was given by Andrew Carnegie years and years ago. He said, listen, the vast majority of the individuals in this country made their wealth or hold their wealth in real estate. Now, this was back in the 30s, right? Today, I would see that more often than not, they made their money in business. They hold their wealth in real estate. It's not to say that you can't make great money in real estate. Obviously, you guys are perfect examples of that, as well as all the folks in the First Flip Challenge. But there's an awful lot of folks out there that may be in business, like the folks that you're talking to in the big rooms you're in. They made their money doing something else, and now they want to invest in real estate. They haven't got a clue how it works, and they're paying way too much. They're operating what I refer to as the retail philosophy of investing.
Yes.
I'm going to buy it basically at market value. I'm going to put a tenant in it, and I'm going to pray that sometime over the next 10 years, it's going to cash flow.
Right? No, that's all they do. And literally every time I bring up investing, that's what they think I do. And it's kind of sad, honestly.
Right.
Absolutely not. And I don't know, actually, I don't know what that break is. I don't know how to explain it to a big entrepreneur where it's like, you realize that you are missing out on so much money and like taxed, you know what I mean? Like if they had just owned one rental, it's like, oh my gosh. But if somebody feels like they already know everything in a specific world, like how do you break that to them so that they understand like, oh.
Sometimes it just takes time. Yeah. I got a family member years ago who didn't know what I did for a living. And I said, well, I'm a real estate investor and I also teach other individuals how to invest. And he goes, so you like have a school or a training company? I said, yeah, exactly. And we teach folks how to become real estate investors. And he goes, he puts up his wrist with his watch and he says, oh, so that's a little bit like teaching them how to tell time. And I was insulted by the whole thing. And I thought, you punk kid, right?
Teaching them how to tell time?
And all I did was I just said, yeah, sure, whatever. And I left it alone. Years later, after he got a little bit of education and a little understanding as how the world works, he was like, I'd like to know more about that, right? Because he couldn't grasp the concept of being able to purchase properties at deep, deep discounts and fix those properties up, prepare them for the retail market, and turn around and, make tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars on a single transaction. That was not in his mindset. Right. Because the only familiarity that he had to real estate was you get a real estate agent and you make an offer and you pay full retail for the darn thing and hope that you can beat out all the other folks. didn't even understand. I mean, the concept of subject to deals, of short sale deals, of wholesaling, of doing creative acquisitions through seller finance strategies.
Sorry, if I can comment on that.
Yeah.
What you're talking about now kind of ties into your previous question of what's the change in people mentally that happens, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then I think that the biggest thing is, as human beings, we have this like mechanism. We probably have evolved it, but we try to explain things that we don't understand in a frame of reference of things that we do understand.
Right.
I think this is where like Greek mythology came from, and astrology and all those things, like, cavemen looking up at the stars, like, what is that? Oh, well, it's gods and, whatnot. But I think the same thing happens now when people look at real estate investing who don't know what it is.
Yeah.
They look at it and they try to explain it with, oh, well, they must be getting mortgages.
Right.
They must call an agent and say, hey, I want to, and then they save up working their job, and so they have this idea that they've explained based on what they understand.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest change I see in people is when they get in and they realize how many different ways there are to get into deals and ways that you can do this. It doesn't, you could be at the bottom right now, right? Not a penny in your bank account, and you could go.
Well, and now
put together a seller finance deal, make it happen.
3 seasons of challengers who have done just that.
Oh yeah.
And I know we can't really talk about the numbers, but the statistics coming out of your challenge are stupid impressive. If I don't mind saying so myself.
We're impressed.
So
we're like, really?
Before we keep going, I do need to point at the time because we're having a great conversation. We love opening this up for a conversation with our online audience, and there are several of you that have made a lot of comments. I would love if you guys have any questions for Mitch and Maeli, either about the First Flip Challenge, about real estate investing, or about their recent promotion to the pack through community building and sales. This is your opportunity. You have access to them right now, but only for a couple more minutes because I got to save some time at just before the top of the hour so Bob can run through a couple more announcements about what's going on inside of Renatus. So if you've got questions, drop them in the comments right now for Mitch and Maeli. They're going to answer them right now live for you on the call. So Bob, did you have any other follow-up questions that you wanted to ask right now? I'm not seeing any other questions coming in.
For me, I don't know if it's as much a question because we've already identified that as it is just a statement. Because individuals, when they're surrounded by folks who are doing deals, all of a sudden their belief and conviction in their own ability to succeed rises significantly. I mean, we talk about all sorts of different historical examples. Roger Bannister when he broke the 4-minute mile. I mean, Carey Hart when he did the first backflip in the X Games. I really like action sports, so that one's always a big one for me. But there are so many examples of that. I mean, every single Olympics, we see swimmers break the last Olympic and the last world record. We see individuals in every sport, raised to a higher standard. So interesting. And I don't want to get into a big debate, but you talk about the dream team in the Olympics with the U.S. basketball, all the greats that were there. I don't know, as great as they were, if they could even compete in today's environment.
Yeah.
Oh, hang on. We don't need to start that.
I know. I'm just
that could
now
get
when
a
I say
little nasty.
compete maybe is the wrong word. I don't know if they could win the gold.
Jordan was on that team.
And Jordan was phenomenal. He was incredible. He was exceptional. But take a look at the players and how far we've come. Their mindset shifts, their mental acuity shifts. Take a look at LeBron. His numbers trump Jordan in just about every category these days. So just something to put out there. As great as he was,
I'm gonna turn this direction and look at you right now.
He was the greatest at the time. But what I was trying to point out before I totally offended Jay is that as time goes on, our minds expand to a new reality and a new possibility.
Yeah.
And as it is expanded, a mind once expanded will never be able to return to its original form or shape. Yeah. And that's the beauty of being involved in a community and the beauty of what you guys have done to create these incredible challenges, because you're surrounding individuals with folks who are leveling up, and in the process, they're bringing people with them.
I just
So,
started
show
watching
up.
The Last Dance,
Yeah.
and the Jordan documentary. So
The
good.
Last Dance is fantastic.
It is.
And I don't want to take anything away
We
from what
did
they
have a couple
accomplished.
of questions come in before we start getting really political here.
Okay.
Jasper Holmes asked this: what are some of the strategies you recommend for newcomers without much savings? But wait, there's a follow-up. What are some of the strategies you recommend for newcomers with 1,500 to 100K in savings or more than 100K?
Well, I can take that one. I always recommend that everyone learn wholesaling. Because here's the thing, if you're doing it right, if you're running an actual scalable real estate investing business, you should have a system around 5 things: finding, analyzing, negotiating, funding, and closing on deals. And that should really be, as an investor, that's what you do. There's only one thing that actually raises your net worth in real estate. And that's when you're at the title company and you sign your name to buy a property. That's the only direct action you can take that makes your net worth go up. So you should have a system that leads to that, right? And you should be spending your time doing that. Finding, analyzing, negotiating, funding, and closing. And I always tell people, if you really want to build a scalable real estate investing business, then when you close, go find another one. Do it again.
Right,
yeah.
Everything else, delegate, right? Because my net worth's not going up when I strap on a tool belt and go frame a wall, right? That's
Right.
all I'm doing is saving what I'd pay a framer to frame that wall. And we're chasing income in that case, not assets. Should be focused on assets. But if you've got that system built, you're going to have deals where it's like, oh, I already maxed out on the number of flips I can manage right now, or I've, just deployed some capital on a rental and I'm clean out right now. But you're going to have good deals coming through that process. And wholesaling is a great back pocket strategy where it's like, hey man, I got this good deal, can't do it right now, but Jay, if you want to go do it,
Right.
show me 10 grand and we'll make it happen. It's also a great place to start, as you always say.
Yeah.
It's the only true no money out of pocket strategy, right? Like the only true how do you put it? Zero down strategy.
Right.
It doesn't take any money to wholesale. It just takes going out and finding the deal and analyzing it, negotiating it, and then finding a buyer for it. So
Right.
I think it's a great place to start
Yeah.
if you don't have the experience or the knowledge or capital to go close on your first deal yet. Do a couple of those. Build up the capital. Upgrade to your combo, get fully educated, and then go do a bigger strategy like flip or a rental.
I love how you pointed out that it really gives you the foundation that you need for any real estate transaction, being able to analyze the deal, being able to negotiate the deal, being able to close the deal. And it's like, that's really, really true. I hadn't thought about it quite like that before. So I think that's a great response. Now, we only have 8 minutes left of the call.
Wow.
And I know that you've got a couple of announcements to go through.
I do have a few announcements. We want to talk about that. But,
Yep.
in the announcements, I just want to make sure that everybody knows kind of where we're at and where we're going with different things. We've got a lot of great things happening inside of Renatus and inside of the Renatus community. And for you, if you've been tuning in to us week after week as we've been going through Renatus at InvestEdge, if you found that what we provide is valuable information and you'd like to know more, it's really easy. On your screen is a QR code and a link where you can actually set up a little 15-minute consultation with one of our real estate investing consultants and find out whether or not we might be a good fit for you, whether you're a seasoned investor or whether you're brand spanking new and you want to get into the game. So please, record that. It's on your screen right now, and let's see if we can't do something to assist you. Now, here's the other side of it. This fall, we've got our next E3 Summit coming up. And the E3, well, it stands for Educate, Equip, and Engage, which is what any investor needs to do in that order so that they can go out there and make their business successful. It happens October 23rd to the 25th in Salt Lake City, Utah. And we've got people from all across the country that are coming in to join us for that. We've got, I think we're 28 or 29 instructors.
I think we're at 30.
30? Are we at 30? Oh,
30
my goodness,
presenters,
man.
yeah.
We've got so many incredible individuals who have just crushed it in business and real estate and finance. We've got tax experts that are going to be there. We've got marketing experts that are going to be there. We've got social media experts that are going to be there. We've got individuals that are going to teach you their specific strategy, whether it's on short sales or it's on auction buying or whatever it might be. We've got so many practitioner instructors to assist you in understanding how the real estate game is played and how it's played to win. So you don't want to miss this. And we're going to have a lot more detail about this as time goes on. But just to showcase a few of the individuals, hey, Umair and Yas Hawk. Now, they were homegrown right here in Renatus. And to be able to see their meteoric rise inside of the community has been inspirational. They also help us get the word out, and they've made great money marketing our education. But they've also crushed it on the real estate deals. And right now I've got 83 doors purchased applying, the Renatus real estate education. That's the doors they've held on to, not including all the fix and flips and trailer parks and other cool things that they've done. It's been fun to watch their growth in the community. We've got Brian Sump. Now, Brian's been with me for a long time. He actually predates Renatus and goes back into my previous real estate investment education company. And this is a guy who's done hundreds of real estate transactions. And to this date, he can brag on the fact that he has never, ever lost money on a real estate transaction.
Incredible.
I know. I mean, can you say that?
Nope.
I can't say that.
I can't either.
Nope.
But Brian can, and that's the kind of practitioner you're going to be learning from at the E3 Summit. In addition to that, so many others that are going to be with us. My good friend, I mentioned him, Garrett Gunderson, will be providing a keynote. Garrett is a coveted speaker and trainer around the world. He is a multiple-time New York Times best-selling author, and his wit and wisdom will just blow your mind. Woody Woodward's going to be there, the developer and creator of the Drive system for influence and for selling. I mean, the little pearls of wisdom you'll get there are out of this world, and so many others. Whether it's on short sales, whether it's on fix and flip, whether it's on, I'm looking over this list here of the folks I'm seeing. Man, is this going to be a great conference. You do not want to miss this. Put it on the calendar because we'd love to see you here with us in Salt Lake City.
Did you guys notice?
I saw. A
Did
couple
you guys see
people
that?
there.
You see a couple of people in there.
I saw a
Mitch and
couple
Maeli
people
are
that we
gonna be
got
with
added
us
to
as
that
well.
photo that weren't there the last
right.
time we showed it.
And I can't wait to have them share some of their experience. and
He's
knowledge.
zooming in.
Yes, that's perfect.
There it is.
Oh, Mitch and Maeli
I'm less
right
people now.
there.
You are less people than you were in that picture,
Yeah,
for
I'll be
sure.
even less people by the time the thing comes around.
Yeah.
Nice.
You've been a great inspiration, Joe.
Yes.
Well, the E3 Summit is fantastic. We invite everybody to come and join us and attend. We'll be getting registration information and pricing information out to you. We're trying to make this thing as reasonable as we possibly can so that we can invite as many people in to see what the Renatus community is all about, to shake hands and meet investors from literally all across the country, and to see the changes that we've made in the lives of so many. I really shouldn't even say that, because really we create the environment for individuals to succeed, and they do the work, and we're so proud of them, and I can't wait for you to get to know them and get to meet them. It's going to be a blast. And Mitch and Maeli, I can't thank you enough. I mean, for being
truly
with us, for your promotion to the pack, because of your service to the community, and for all the great work that you guys are doing to help our students get better outcomes and succeed at a higher level. Because without you, that environment wouldn't have been created for them to plug into, and they wouldn't have the results that they are now receiving.
Oh, thank you.
Well, Bob, without you, we wouldn't have been able to do it in the first place.
Exactly.
So thank you.
Yeah, seriously.
There's a lot of love and a lot of a lot of things that go
so
around
much
here.
love.
I mean, without my right hand man right here,
That's
who is sitting on my left, I wouldn't have been able to do it as well. I mean, it's so nice to have Jay in there handling operations and just pushing this thing forward. It's a blessing in my life.
I will say that, so this Thursday is our first meeting at the Salt Lake Community College, so be there. We have a networking opportunity from 6 to 7.
Ooh, right on.
And it's such it's so fun because exactly what you just said, which is how interesting that they get to socialize with hundreds. We have now 160 challengers.
Yeah.
Hundreds of people in deals, doing lots of deals,
Yeah.
different types of deals.
Yeah.
And they get to socialize with over 100 people
Yeah.
in one spot. And every time somebody bumps into somebody, what are they hearing? How they're leveling up, how they're going on vacation, how they're able to put their kids in private school, or whatever it is. Like, their dreams are coming true, and now they're bumping into all these people. Networking is what does that. So be there, 6 o'clock, at the community college, and go bump into everybody and rub shoulders with people that are growing.
That's the Salt Lake Community College down in Sandy, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you're watching this and you are in New Jersey,
Fly.
hey, get on a plane. Come join us, Yeah, if you're local to us within, 10-hour drive, come on over. And, we'd love to see that. Anyway, there's so many great things that are taking place, but thank you once again for your contribution.
And congratulations.
Yes,
you guys
very
deserve
much
it.
congratulations.
It's an honor.
Yeah. Well, it's been a fantastic Renatus InvestEdge, another one. We're thrilled to be able to spend this time with you each and every week. We can't wait for the next round so that we can help you level up your real estate investing game. And remember this, if home is where the heart is, shouldn't your business be there too? That's what Renatus is all about. We invite you to be a part of that journey with us. Until next week, good day and God bless everybody.